Hi everyone. Okay, this is PYC3701 for the University of South Africa, Chapter 9, Prosocial Behavior. By now, I don't know about you lot, but I am really quite frazzled, so I want to just get through this fast. Let's go. Luckily, it's pretty simple. Okay, so I think prosocial behavior is the invisible glue that makes human society possible. We don't see it, but it's everywhere, and it's one of the most powerful social forces that we experience on a day-to-day basis, far greater than any negative or hostile or power struggle aspects of social interaction, is helping one another and helping humanity to succeed. This is what makes it all work and hang together. Okay, so there's going to be 7 whys. Then we're going to look at when. Then we're going to look at situational factors, external to you and internal to you. And then very quickly outcomes. Let's go. Okay, so why? Reason number 1, empathy. There are 3 kinds of empathy. The first is emotional empathy. Emotional empathy is when I perceive you feeling a feeling, I feel it too. I feel it with you. I resonate with you. Okay? Second is going to be empathic accuracy, the cognitive recognition of feelings. What is that? It's simply being able to identify what other people feel. Third one, empathic concern, caring. It's one thing to know what other people are feeling, it's another to care. All right. Okay, so we've got emotional empathy, empathic accuracy, and empathic concern. Totally going to come up in the exam. Empathy altruism hypothesis. We love to help because we love to help. Okay? We really do want to help. Okay, so empathic accuracy has all sorts of positive spin-offs. The more empathic accuracy you have, the better you succeed socially. Okay? The second why, we've looked at empathy, now we're going to look at negative state relief. Okay, in other words, when we see other people being hurt or unhappy, we feel very unpleasant, we suffer. So we help others so we don't have to suffer. Reason number 3, empathic joy. Helping others is joyful. Reason number 4, competitive altruism. People who help others get higher social ranking. Everybody looks up to them. This is one of the reasons why corporations give. But I don't think it's the only reason. Okay, let's look at 5 and 6. Okay, number 5 is kin selection theory. Again, this has been found in humans and in many other animals. And a lot of research has borne this out, that basically when you help one another, your genes have a better chance of being perpetuated. So the person that came up with this theory and turned it into a mathematical formula, Hamilton, he said, well, I would give up my life for 2 siblings or 8 cousins, because that would be the equivalent genetic package of me continuing to exist. In fact, better. All right. So research does confirm that we help close genetic relatives first, and also that we're more likely to help fertile women and children more often than others. Okay, reason number 6, reciprocal altruism theory. We are helping one another in exchange for possibly getting help in the future. And this is, of course, very true. Okay, reason number 7, defensive helping. helping someone who could be a threat to you. So if you live next to a gangster, you definitely want to bring them a cake. No, you do want to help people who are scary, who may be a threat, because it diffuses that threat. But it's also used in this context. The textbook talks about the social in-group, out-group kind of threat. So rather a social threat than a physical threat. So as part of the in-group, when you help the out-group, you are re-establishing that the in-group is the in-group and is therefore socially superior, dealing with that social status type threat. But I think it's true for many different kinds of threat. Okay, now we're moving on to when. When do people help one another and when don't they? Now, one very disturbing thing that has come up again and again in history is the bystander effect, where you get a whole bunch of people seeing an emergency happening and nobody steps up. Recently, there was an article about I think it was an 80-something-year-old man who fell in the streets of Austria, and then he lay there for several hours with a broken hip because nobody stopped and helped him. He actually got hypothermia and was taken to hospital eventually. Okay? So there are reasons for the bystander effect, and some of them are quite good reasons. Okay, the first is diffusion of responsibility. The more witnesses there are, the less you feel like it's your job to step up and help. Someone else is going to do it. Secondly, if someone's not part of your in-group, even your tiny little in-group, you're going to be less likely to help them. Okay? Thirdly, you don't know what's going on and you're hoping someone else is going to step up. Okay, so every time you walk past a homeless person passed out on the pavement in the day, you don't know if that person is in desperate need or not. So you're really hoping that that person has someone else that's going to take care of them. And that's a rational choice in a way. Okay, so we're going to look at external situational factors and internal situational factors. Okay, we help the in-group, people we like, and also people who are similar to us because we know where we stand with them. Okay? People who are innocent rather than guilty. It's not just that you don't know what to do, that you don't help that homeless man. You think you know that he's the person that's put himself into that situation through his alcoholism, and unless he engages with it, it's going to be extremely difficult to help him. Whereas if you walk past someone who's clearly not a homeless person, they've fallen in the street, you can be much quicker to help them because the reason why they're lying there is external to them. Okay? Modeling by prosocial others. Helping others is contagious. Prosocial schemas. Okay, so video games, stories, movies, etc. Church, Bible, Quran, all of these things give us schemas for being prosocial. Gratitude. When you help and you get given back genuine gratitude, this makes you much more likely to help again. Internal factors. Okay? All right, how about mood? So surely if you're having a good mood, you're more likely to help. Well, this is partially true, but partially untrue, because if you're in such a good mood, you really don't want to stop having a good mood in order to help someone else. Or if you're doing something very important, like very funnily, if you're a minister and you're running off to give a service to the congregation, you're far less likely to stop and help a homeless person because you're busy, okay? Or you're so happy you can't imagine that anyone else could be in dire straits. You think that surely they must be fooling around. So you misread the situation. Okay, negative mood. How about a negative mood? Surely a negative mood will make you less likely to help. Well, yes, on the whole, but if it's not too terrible, you might help others just so that you can feel better, but obviously not if it's going to be a huge schlep and a hassle and emotionally stressful because you are already a bit worn out if you're in a negative mood. Okay, there is a mood correlation, and that is elevated mood. What is an elevated mood? It is a mood of inspiration, upliftment, and optimism about human nature, elevation. So getting inspired really helps people act prosocially. Again, obviously empathy, again, we know empathy is vital and actually starts in infancy as if you hang around with babies, you'll notice how they pick up on your feelings and want to feed you their food and so on and so forth. It's very cute. Okay, perspective taking. We're going to talk about that in a mo. First, we're watching a video. Very sweet. All right. Okay, perspective taking, 3 aspects. First, imagining the other. Imagining the other, how the other person sees the situation and then how they must feel. Then, imagining the self in that situation. How would you feel and what would you do in that situation? And then thirdly, and possibly most powerfully, fantasy. When you feel empathy for an imaginary person, like in the movies, so you can really empathize with someone climbing up a skyscraper, etc., and almost falling, and so on and so forth. All right. Okay, factors against helping. What stops us from stepping up and helping others? Okay, firstly, if you are socially excluded and you feel left out of the social group, you're far less likely to help. Anonymity. When you are anonymous, you're less prosocial. Darkness. Commercialization. Okay, so it's very amusing. Imagine someone asks you to help them push their car or jumpstart their car. You'll be very quick and willing to help. But imagine that same person offers you 10 Rand to help them. Suddenly it's like money's in the picture, you're far less willing to help. And of course, this is a problem for those of us that are going to go into the helping professions. Once we start receiving money, we become less willing to help others, ironically. Okay, what are the effects of being helped? They can be positive or negative. Usually, of course, we love being helped. It's life-saving, literally, and makes everything so much better. But sometimes there's a negative reaction. Number one, when it feels like it's a condescending helping. Oh, you poor thing, let me help you from my elevated position. Very unpleasant. Or when that person has to help you. For example, when you are taken out to dinner and you know that that person is taking you out to dinner because it's required by the company that you work for, you're far less likely to feel grateful and more likely to feel like you should be getting paid overtime. Okay, so that is the end of that. Good luck for the exams. We're going to finish with one more little video. I think it's like 2 minutes and very sweet. Okay, so bye, and I might see you next week. Maybe, maybe not.
Okay, you over there and you over here. Let's see, I'll help you. Here. We're gonna take some photos, but the problem is the photographer is late. I'm gonna look for the photographer and then we'll take the photos. Meanwhile, you can have a snack, okay? I'm gonna go and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay? Here I go. Count to 3.
1, 2. 3. There. I don't know. This one or this one? This one. And let's do magic. The bigger one.